I wanted to begin this interview with you, Tisha, by thanking
Mhm.
you so much for joining me this evening on Aaron's Opinion. I really appreciate it. So the first question I have for you is, and our audience will want to know, who is Tisha Milne?
Well, Tisha Mill is a born Jamaican. I was born in the parish of St. Thomas to a very young parent. They were both 19 years old. I was born 88. That's the same year a hurricane destroyed Jamaica. So I was born 1 week after. I was born the 19th of September, 1988. Grew up in St. Thomas and then moved to Kingston because of my disability. I attended the Salvation Army School for the Blind, where I left and attended the Holy Child High School. That's an all-girls school here in Jamaica. Left high school at a very tender age because of family reasons, but went on to do data operation when I was like 18 years old. And then I went on to do massage therapy after having a child at 22 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And
Yeah.
can you tell the audience, I know you've told me twice now, but can you tell the audience how you became blind? And as you guys know, I became blind at birth because I have glaucoma. But how did you lose your vision, Tisha?
There's no doctors cannot find a complaint. I've been to several doctors, even Cuban doctors, and they can't find a complaint. I was born a perfect child and I became blind at age 5. My mother died 1 week after I became blind.
I see. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So basically, where would you like to take this interview? Sometimes I have guests speak about their schooling, some of the interesting experiences that you've had, and then we'll kind of work forwards up until you got into the acting. So, as you know, I am good acquaintances with Mr. Wilbert Williams. So because of that, I'm very familiar with the Salvation Army School for the Blind. But in case you're a new listener to Aaron's Opinion, Tisha, why don't you tell us a little bit more?
Hold on.
Okay, all right.
That is not somebody calling you. As Andre turned that down too. That's not down. Hello?
Hello.
I'm sorry about that. Somebody was
No worries.
calling Tashtika. Sorry about that.
No worries. Yes. So, in case someone is a new viewer or a new listener to Aaron's Opinion, can you tell us a little bit about some of the interesting experiences you had in schooling growing up at the Salvation Army School for the Blind, or your high school, or talk about that for a bit if you would like.
All right. Going to Salvation Army, I was 7 years old. I did not know Braille. I've been a call again. You hearing me?
Yes.
Sorry about that. There's a call coming in. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I did not know Braille. I learned Braille quickly, pretty fast because I'm a fast learner.
Good.
So I learned Braille when I was like 7 years old. There are advantages and disadvantages of the school for the blind because being away from home, you will expect for them to treat you according to the way you were treated at home. But yeah, we weren't treated like that. Sometimes we were treated like we were animals. Trust me. I'm gonna be honest about it. We were treated like animals. One time the meals that we get weren't pleasing. But there are times that we appreciate going there because you learn a lot of independence and you learn how to do stuff now that we are adults, that we can do it for ourselves. So that is one takeaway from the school for the blind. But we were open to opportunities like to take our exams to go on to high schools and college and going out on the street and learning mobility. So those are some of the experiences that I got. and then went on to high school. I was a popular girl because I was the first person with a vision problem to go to the high school that I attended, which is an all-girls school. So everybody wanted to know me because, hey, this girl coming to the school, she cannot see, or she's gonna focus amongst persons who can see. But I never let that deter who I was. So when I left, when I dropped out of school because of my family issues, it was very depressing to me. But nevertheless, I did have good experiences going through school.
That's really good. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and especially what can you tell our women listeners about attending a all girls school? That's something that on my side of the pond in the States, we still have all girls and all women's academies in the States, but it has become
Mhm.
tremendously less popular in the modern days. So what can you tell us about, attending an all girls high school?
Going to an all-girl high school is a pleasure. Let me tell you why. Knowing that for majority of my years I've been to a girl and boys school where girl and boys were mixed. Going to a all girls school was a pleasure because you understand what others are going through, being that you're a female also, and persons can look up to you and talk to you about issues that a woman would like to talk to about with her next woman, because not everything you can tell a male. Sometimes you feel better talking to your same person. Like, I'm a female and there's something I wouldn't want to tell my father, so I'll go to my mother. So it was the same thing going to an all-girls school, and there's stuff that will happen to you and you'll feel better to be around all girls, because there are times that we are going through our menstruation and only a woman will understand a woman going through that a male wouldn't understand. So it's a pleasure.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
You explained that in a very I love communicating with Jamaicans. You all have such a blunt and entertaining and
You
charming
have
way
to
of.
be You have to, because at the end of the day, you don't want persons to have misconceptions about going to an all-girls school, because persons do. But trust me, it's
Well,
it's a pleasure to go to an all-girls school.
I think you really cleared it up. I think you did a great job
Yes.
of solving all of the misconceptions that I might have had about attending an all girls school in Jamaica.
I didn't want to go to, because let me
Yeah.
tell you, when I did my exams, I did not pass for that school. I
Hmm.
passed for a girl and boys school because of the facilities they did not have at the school that I did pass for. I had to settle for an all girls school, but at the end of the day, going there, I just appreciate what I've learned and what I've been through there, because I've been through a lot, and a male wouldn't understand what I'm going through, but a next female will understand because they are females. So they will understand a female issue. Not saying that males don't understand, but there are certain things that they wouldn't understand
Right.
that a
Right.
female would understand.
No,
Yeah.
of course. No, you're absolutely right. And it used to be very, 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 very popular in the States for boys to go to all boys schools, women to go to all women's schools. But
Yeah.
what happened was is that those institutions just didn't make enough money. So nowadays, there are probably in the States, there still are institutions like that, like an all girls school. They still have them, but they're having a
Well,
much harder
here
time in making profit. So yeah.
well, here in Jamaica, majority of the Catholic schools are all girls schools, because
Right,
Holy Child is a Catholic school. So majority of the Catholic schools are all girls schools here in
right.
Jamaica.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. All right, all right. And then what did you do
And
after
I've
high
had
school?
great opportunity going to that school because I went to France and London to represent my school in 2003.
Really? Well, what can you share about representing your school in France and London? Talk about it.
Well, when I got the opportunity, I was in first form, that is grade 7. And when they came to me, they brought the letter to me one day when I was at school. I was like, what is in this letter? Am I going to get kicked from the school? And the principal said, no, why would we kick you? And I was like, so why would you give me a letter to take back? Because I was bored at the Salvation Army, even though I was going to a high school. Because that's where I was living. I was living at the Salvation Army for boarding, but I will go out in the mornings to go to school. So they said I should take it there because they are the persons who are responsible for me. So when I took it there, they were like, "Oh, you're going to represent your school overseas." I was like, "Me, and I don't have a passport nor a visa. This is crazy." And they said, "Don't worry about anything. The school is gonna stand full responsibility for your trip." So they took me to get my passport, and I went to meetings for them to tell me what I'm gonna do. So I went on a pilgrimage, which is my first, but I really loved it. I enjoyed myself in Paris. Trust me. So I went when the principal came and she said, "You know what is in the letter?" I said no. And she said, "Well, you're going to represent our school at a pilgrimage in France." I was like, "What is a pilgrimage?" And she explained to me that it's a Catholic function where you go and you learn about the death of Jesus and the death about a young lady called Bernadette. She died the same way how Jesus died. And you learn about Mary, the mother of Jesus, and all sorts of Catholic stuff. But you're going to have times that you're going to visit places that you hear about and dream to go to. So I went to the towers and I went to a mountain that I could cross over into Spain. It was pretty nice. And then I went to London and I went to watch Lion King live. Yes, it was good. So for the 1 month and 3 weeks that I was in London and France, it was good. It was nice to represent my school there.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's really cool. So were
Yeah,
there, so was it like a delegation with like other people from Jamaica, or was it just like how many other Jamaicans were with you
there
kind
were
of on the
there were
representation?
4 other Jamaicans, but they all had a disability. So I was the only blind person there. There was a person in wheelchair, and there were 2 other persons with intellectual disability. That's called slow learning.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
And now today, do you speak French well?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. I don't like French.
You see, French is my second language, and then you mentioned going to France, so I thought, oh, that's interesting. But
Well, when I going to France, it was a pleasure. 'Cause let me tell you, we took like Jamaican memorabilia, like the flag, we took cups, we took badges, and we'll do like exchanges. So if you're from a different country, I'll give you a Jamaican thing, and you give me back one of your country stuff. So that's what we did most. And persons love the Jamaican accent because when we went there, it was raining, and when we landed, trust me, the sunshine came out. So they were like, "Oh, the Jamaicans bring the sunshine."
I see. That's very that
Yes,
is very funny.
yes.
What thing did you collect from someone else? Did you have a flag from some other country that
I had a lot of stuff. I had a lot. I even got a bagpipe from what's the name of that country? Scotland.
Scotland? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I got a it wasn't a big one, but it was like a version of it because I
Right.
love to hear the bagpipe. I love it.
Yeah, I do. I love hearing pipes once in a while too. Yeah.
Yes, I love it and the violin. And I
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of badges and I got a lot of stuff.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
That is good. That is good. Yeah, excellent.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So after you had this wonderful trip, then, what did you do?
Well, when I came back, I didn't want to come back. Trust me, I didn't want to come back because interacting with persons from outside your country, it was amazing. Because persons just wanted to learn the Jamaican language. They didn't want to speak their language anymore because when you approach them and you said, "I'm from Jamaica," they wouldn't understand you. But when you say "one love," they were like, "Oh, Bob Marley." And they would like you to sing a Bob Marley song for them and they will dance to it. It was, I didn't want to come back, but coming back and telling persons my experience, persons wanted to go, but you'll have to be like a part of a Catholic school to attend that trip. So they couldn't attend. So Yeah, a lot
I
of
see.
persons. Yes, you have to be part of a Catholic school to go. But it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so good. That's so good. Okay. So what types of things did you do after this big trip, and what inspired you to get into acting, and what is your, like, how do you know, how did you come to meet Gavin and all of our other friends, and that type of thing? What's the connection?
Well, Gavin and I have known each other for 23 years. We went to the same school, actually. Yes. We went to the Salvation Army School for the Blind. We have been like brothers and sister. That's how our relationship. We're like, he's my little brother. And the other times that I'm going through stuff, he's always there for me. I met Tashtika lately, but she's like my little sister. So there are times that we will sit down and we'll hold reasoning. Acting now, going to school, I've always been in drama. That's one of the lessons that I had to do at school, drama. So I love drama. I just love the acting thing. So it was automatically for me to just go into acting because I've done it at school. I have been there, I've done it, I know it, and I love it. I love entertainment overall.
Me too. Me
Yes,
too.
yes,
Okay.
I love
So
it.
so what did you think of this whole concept of I never saw it coming? I'll tell you, when Gavin told me about it,
Mhm.
it seemed really cool. It seemed really
It
interesting.
is. It
It
is.
it,
And
it
why
seemed
I
really
say it is, why I say it is, knowing that you have a team full of persons with disability carrying out a whole entire series. It is amazing because persons look down on you, not because of your ability, but because of your disability. But doing this and putting it out there, let persons look at you differently. Because being it going up on YouTube, I think last week, we have over 100 and odd views already. So it is
and
amazing.
it really is. And you know what? I'm sure that Gavin told you that I have a little bit of a promise that I needed to make to Gavin, and I'm going to make it, which is that after I interview you, I will share that video episode one with all of my social platforms. So you will notice a huge increase in views
Mm-hmm.
on that
Yeah,
video. So yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Okay. Now, for someone who doesn't know what I never saw it coming is, so can you kind of paint the picture in the mind and the ear of the listener for someone who's both sighted and blind? Remember, most of the people listening to Aaron's opinion are other blind people all over the world, but I know we have sighted people listening too. So talk
Yeah.
about it, kind of paint the picture in someone's ear for where this is starting, and then how you fit in. Go from there.
Oh Lord. Well, I was not in the first 6 episodes, but I've listened. And based on what I picked up from this, it's about a boss who basically he just wants to be with everybody. But there's a
Right.
lot of secret about this boss that it's just coming out. So I was there one day and I was listening, and they had a series where the minister was talking about he wanted to go and have some prostitutes. So I was
Okay.
like, okay, then I think I can be a mystery girl where I know everybody's business, right? So I called up the boss, which is Dollar Bill, and I said to him, "Can I be a part of episode 10?" He was like, "No problem, but you'd have to send me an audition." So he was like, "What role would you want to play?" I said, I would like to play I would like to play the mystery girl. So he was like, okay, then I want you to send me an audition. So I did send him the audition, and then he texted me back and said, you're gonna play the pastor's wife. And I was like, oh, didn't want to play that role, but I'll have to do it. But at the end of the day, the pastor does not know what I'm doing. I own my own business. I am a massage therapist in the play, as I told you that I am. But the pastor does he think his wife is this perfect girl. She is so perfect that She's so perfect that anybody goes to him and say, hey, your wife is cheating, he's gonna not believe them. So it's just a lot of secrets that is gonna come out that you never expect will come out about the boss, about just everybody in the place. So that's based because Eva Brandy is married to a pastor. Enough persons never saw that coming because Brandy is an evil. So they never expected her to be married to a pastor. So that's basically that's basically most I can paint in person's mind. Because even me, even I'm gonna commit a murder. Nobody expect a pastor's wife going to commit a murder because she's a pastor's wife. So she's expected to be a good girl. So
Ah.
yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Very, very, very interesting. So, what
It
are the
is.
what are the characteristics? So when you told that you would be cast for Jennifer, the pastor's wife, what
Uh-huh.
what were the characteristics of that personality that you liked? What do you dislike about the pastor's wife? How do you connect the pastor's wife to your persona and your personality? Because a lot of acting, a really good actor is someone who's able to connect the character they play with their own life in real life. So if you plug the two in together, you're a really good actor and it's a really, really good experience. So how are you able to plug yourself into that role?
Well, as I said, playing the part, I never wanted to play the pastor's wife. But in real life, I am a good girl. Don't get me wrong. I am a nice, loving, and friendly girl. But being that I had to play this role, I just have to, I just have to incorporate a lot of stuff that, I have to play a good girl when I'm at home with my husband. And I have to just play a bad girl when I'm out there doing my own business and just not and just have to play the role that the pastor does not find out who his wife really is until the day he's supposed to find out. So I I just have to just accept it and just play the role that I got to play. But until this day, the pastor still think that I am perfect, which I am not. So yeah. But it wasn't hard for me to play because in real life, I'm a good girl. Yeah, nobody is perfect. But in real life, there are stuff in it that I can really act out and I practice them day by day. I don't practice to do a murder. So this is the first for me, but I know how to play the role when it comes on to acting. Yeah,
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah,
yeah.
you explained it really well that sometimes in acting you're connected to a role that you don't really like, but
You don't, but it's an
in essence,
act.
right, but actually in essence though, that will prove to be your kind of your secret weapon, your greatest ally, because in essence
Hold
you'll
on,
the
hold on.
okay, okay,
1 minute, 1 minute.
okay.
Hello? May I use our phone? Talk on my phone. Here. Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in essence, I think that the fact that you didn't actually want to be cast as the pastor's wife, I think that will prove to help you because
Yeah.
you'll have to use more of your acting muscles
Mm-hmm.
to completely control and play that character. So this might
Yeah.
actually be a really good role for you because hey, you already know you can act. You know you don't really
Yeah.
want that character, so this is a
Yeah.
chance where the rubber meets the road and for you to really prove yourself that you can act.
Yes.
Right, right.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Now and specifically, why did our great friend Gavin, why did he cast you as the pastor's wife?
It was him, it was it was Dollar Bill who said that everybody else in the play is married and the pastor was a single person. So you wanted to put me with the pastor. Know that the pastor is an Indian, so his culture is totally different from mine. So they wanted to incorporate the two cultures, the Jamaican and the Indian being married. So when he showed it out to everybody, they were like, perfect. She's the perfect person for him. Because he was the first time the pastor, who is now the pastor, he was playing a wicked boy role. He was really cruel. He was a past criminal. So he converted. So he wanted a wife. So when I came in the play, they were like, she's the perfect person to become a pastor's wife. But I know everything about him, but he does not know anything about me.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, in his mind, his Jennifer is so perfect, and she's practicing everything that he say. But
Right.
he does not even know that Jennifer slept with his cousin because he's not supposed to know that yet. So yeah,
All right. All right, good. Well, you know what? You know what I love about your personality, Tisha, is that you're fully invested in the character, and you're really engaging
I
yourself
love
in the.
my character. I
Well,
love it. I
well,
didn't
then
want to do
good.
it, but no, but doing it now, I love it.
I
I
think you
do
I
love
think you
it.
just I think you discovered you figured out that you actually do like that character in
Yeah, I
in
do.
that's good, that's good. Now
Yeah.
here's the other question. So how all of you, it seems like the majority of the cast of I Never Saw It Coming is blind or has some disability. um uh,
They're all blind. They're
all of
all
them.
blind.
Okay, because then I was going to
Yeah.
ask, are there any sighted people that appear in the cast? But okay,
I
they're all
don't
blind.
think so. I don't think so.
Okay,
I
all
don't
right.
think there are no sighted persons in there. They're all blind because we're all in a group.
Okay, you're all in a group together. I see.
Yeah.
So now obviously this is you're recording your voices doing the different lines. So how are you
Yeah.
all how is that part organized? Do you just do your lines and send them in, or how is that all recorded, and how is that facilitated?
Well, we do our recordings on WhatsApp through a voice note, and then we send it off to the relevant persons, and they will edit them, and
into
put
the
them
into the
together.
file right, right.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. I see. I see. Now, as far as receiving your lines, like how do they manage the distribution of lines? In other words, how do you know how to find your lines and what to say?
Okay. So Gavin and Jazzy will call you up and let you know that you're going to play this role, and they will send the lines to you for you to practice. So they will give you like a 10 minutes to practice because it's not anything long. And then there are sometimes that you incorporate something that you think will sound better. Like, for example, when we were doing the wedding, me and my team had to do the decoration for the wedding. So there is a line that I put in, which I believe sounded very great, and they did love it, where we had to do the floral arrangement. I said to them that I think you should put the flowers arrangement at the door, that whenever the guest steps in, a heavenly scent will hit them. And everybody was like, where did you get that one? Because I just believe that that sounded very nice. And then the person after me was like, be getting a heavenly scent in here is not going to stop the drama. So yeah, I just believe that that sounded pretty well right there. So they used that part. After that, everybody did love it. But I actually got that from a movie. But I believe that it should have been there. So
Ah,
I did put it there.
you're a bit, I think you're a bit overly honest. You didn't need to tell me you got it from a movie. I would have just believed
No,
that you
I
made it
have
up.
to be honest because I watched the movie and I really
Ah,
like that
okay. So
line.
you
Yeah,
you
I love
well,
it.
cool. You know what? You really love what you're doing. Your love for acting and
Yes.
your integrity is really sparkling right
Yeah.
through. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's so good. That's so good. Okay, so then they record. Basically, you send in your notes. It's all edited. And I think that's a really interesting part of acting that is oftentimes completely overlooked. Is that a lot of times when we watch TV shows or movies,
Mm-hmm.
definitely with TV shows, a lot of things, not all, but sometimes there are some improvs and some little mannerisms that sneak through that they just say, "Well, keep it. That looks good." So,
Yeah. And you will
yeah.
love it. And I watch
Right.
a lot of Jamaican movies.
Oh,
I love Jamaican
oh, well,
movies.
talk to me because as an American, I'm really interested in learning more about that. What are some like famous Jamaican actors or Jamaican movies that you really like look up to and think are really
Okay.
interesting? Yeah.
You have Richard Brown. He brings out a lot of Jamaican movies, and his movies are based on current things that are happening in Jamaica. So I subscribe to his channel. So
Hmm.
whenever he puts out a movie, I get a notification that Richard Brown just dropped a film. So he brings out like whatever is happening. So there's a COVID happening now. He will bring out movies on that, and he bring out movies on best friends. Like he had a movie called A Friend in Need. That's a good one. And he have one about Blinded by Love. Now, Blinded by Love is about a young lady who is blind, and he helped her. And he went to what they call a reader man in Jamaica, and he asked the reader man to cast her blindness on him and let her and give her his side. But in the end of the movie, in the end of it, when the girl began to see, she left him, and he was left all alone with a child. But watching this, it's showing that persons can be ungrateful no matter what you do for them, and persons can be grateful for what you have done for them. And I think you should search out that one. That's a good one to watch. It's called Blinded by Love.
Blind, and so
So
this is like a full, and Blinded by Love is like a full length film, right?
yeah, it's you have part one and part two. So he's a great actor. I looked up to him. And you have Andrea Del Cita, right? She's really good. She's very hilarious. And you have Shibada. He is a next drama. Yeah, those guys, they are very hilarious, and there are stuff that they will say that you can take and go away and live within your day-to-day activities. There are stuff that they will say that is jokify, but if you put it in your way, you can get lessons from it. So watching these movies, there are a lot of lessons that you will learn, because the one that is called Friend in Need, it's about a friend who helped a friend, and the friend got pregnant for her friend's husband. So even though she's helping the girl is still sneaking out behind her back and having affair with her husband. So it is showing that whenever you help somebody again, they can be grateful or they can be ungrateful. So there are stuff that you learn in your life in these movies that you can take day by day and use them
Right.
as a stepping stone.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
kind of like in the States, here in the States, we would say, be careful what you wish for. But it seems like
exactly.
kind of like that. Be careful what you wish for, but you would say people can either be grateful for what you do or ungrateful for what you do. So be careful for what you wish. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So those are the
That's a good
lessons
life
that you
that's
get.
a good
Yeah.
life lesson. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. Definitely.
Hmm.
Okay, well, cool, cool. That's really good to learn about that. As well, you may or well, who God only knows what Gavin has or hasn't told you about Aaron and Aaron's opinion. But I have gotten to know a lot of wonderful Jamaicans. You certainly are one of them. Many, many, many Jamaicans have come
Hmm.
here to Aaron's opinion. I've never been to Jamaica. I have been to St. Lucia, so I kind of
You
have a
need to
fee.
come. You
Oh,
need to come. The
God
food,
willing, of
the
course.
food here is nice, and you will love it. And the beaches and stuff, it's really good here.
So
Yes, we have.
what meal am I gonna eat when I come there?
You can have jerk chicken, jerk
Love it.
pork, curry goat, ackee
Oh,
and saltfish, and
love all that. And
the
a nice
Jamaican
red
patties.
stripe. And a
Yeah,
nice red stripe to wash it down.
as, and as I always tell my overseas friend, the weed.
I might have some friends who are concerned about the herbal remedies, but I'll just stick with the meat, the rice, and the red stripe. Oh yeah.
No, they have wheat, they have muffins that are made out of ganja, and they
I
have sweets that are made from ganja.
I believe you. So I'll bring one of my friends who's into that, and he'll try all those things. I believe you. That's great. That's great.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And
Yeah.
it is very expensive, trust me.
Oh
But
well,
the beaches are good.
Well, I'm not paying money for that. I'm not paying money for those herbs, hon. You got to come on. I'm an American. I'm a podcaster journalist. If I'm spending money, I'm getting the good food. Don't be giving me your don't try to sell me to Jamaica just to give me your grass and your herbs. Absolutely not.
Well, and the beaches are good. We
Okay,
have
all right. So
beautiful beaches.
you're dodging the plants and just focusing on the sand and water. Okay, tell me about the sand and water.
We have very nice beaches. We have beautiful waterfalls. And we have wonderful drinks here in Jamaica. Yeah,
Good.
our juices are something to die for because we have natural juices that are made from vegetable or fruits, which we use no sugar. They're just natural.
You
Yeah.
know, that's really interesting actually because I don't really I it's very odd, but I have an aversion to fruit here in the States. It's a very
Mhm.
strange thing. No, seriously though, and it makes me very sick and I have allergic reactions and I think a lot of it might be that that we put a lot of chemicals and other additives into the juices on my side.
Yeah,
So
that is it.
probably
That
that
is
might
it.
be some of it, but maybe down there things are a
It's
lot
natural. It's natural.
very
Trust me.
natural.
It is
Mm-hmm.
very natural here. If you come to Jamaica, you don't want to go back home. When you come to Jamaica, I'm begging you, have a piece of avocado and bulla.
What was that second word? That was a Jamaican word. What was that second word after avocado?
Okay. Avocado bulla is a Jamaican cake. It is
Ah.
it's round and it's made from flour and other stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
the avocado is the pear, so you'll eat that with the bulla. So we call it bulla here in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it is very nice. You can have it with cheese if you wish to, or have it with some butter.
Oh, definitely. That is so good. You know what? You know what?
Yes.
The juice thing reminds me of. It reminds me in Lucia, I had some banana rum. What do you guys have for banana rum?
We don't have, I don't think we have banana, but we have rum and raisin, rum
Mm.
cream, and we have natural rum that is made from the sugar cane. Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course. Yeah, of course. That is so
yeah,
good. I would definitely drink that. Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
yeah. But we
And
normally mix that with something. We normally mix it with Pepsi, or we
um,
can mix it with anything that we want. So
I'm a pretty tough customer. I would just drink that heaven straight up. Trust me.
woo,
Oh
you're
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. With the right food, with some Indian food or some spicy food, boy, that would be good. Oh,
Jamaican
hey.
food is spicy if you
Yeah,
want it to. We cook with a
yeah.
lot of peppers and natural seasoning. We
Mm-hmm.
don't really like powder seasoning. We because even our rice and peas is cooked with natural coconut, not the powder, the coconut
Right.
that is picked from the tree. And
Right.
we have natural jelly water. When that is icy cold, oh my God, you like to have that over and over and over. And
I've
have
had
that
it.
with a patty. Have that with a Jamaican patty.
I've
Woo!
had it before. Yeah, I've had it. I've had it before. Sure, sure.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
have nice food.
Your region
We
has
have nice
wonderful
food.
food. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
I've actually been to one of the countries in Africa, Swaziland. So I've had the food
Yeah,
from that region too. It's very similar to the Caribbean food.
yeah, because we are African descent. Jamaicans are African descent. So we
Right.
have a lot of African culture in our region. Even the Maroons and stuff, we have a lot of that here. So we practice a lot of stuff that the Africans do practice.
Oh, that's really interesting. So, what are some of the traditions from the African continent that have still remain today in Jamaica?
Some persons do just like the Africans. We do a lot of piercings, and
Mm-hmm.
we have like the dances like Kumina, Dinky Mini, and we have Jankuno and stuff. And like for the some holidays, we do a lot of stuff that the Africans will do. Like for independence, we have like the Jankuno where persons dress up like different characters and they have like a parade. So yeah, we do a lot of piercings because for me, I have 3 piercings, and that is from an African tradition because our African brothers and sisters they do a lot of piercings, but some religions do not accept piercings
Well, that is
here
fine.
in
Right.
Jamaica.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, because your country represents actually all of the religions, and that's another very interesting
yeah, we
thing.
do,
Yeah, you
we
do,
do.
definitely. Definitely. That's good.
Mhm.
So what piercings do you have? What have you done for your body art?
Well, I have 2 piercings on my ear, and I pierce. Mm.
Yes, you're here. So you have two piercings on your ear and what?
Hold on, hold on.
Okay.
You can hear me. Just let that go. I'm sorry about that. And I pierced my belly button. Those are the only 3 piercings I've done. But some persons do put tattoos. I am not into tattoos. I don't
Mm,
really like doing, but persons do that, which I'm
I
not
see.
against. I'm not against persons who want to do that. But for me, I just don't like. I just don't like that. But I will do
Right.
the piercing because it's quick and fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
That is very interesting. Yeah, yeah, sure,
Mhm.
sure. And back to your experience in England, what else can you tell us about, your experience there in England?
Hello.
Hello. Yes. So, did you hear my question?
No, sorry, she was getting a call on her phone. Sorry about that.
No problem. So, back to England. Besides going to the Lion King show, what are some other things that you did in England when you went there?
Well, I took pictures in front of the Queen's Palace,
Mm.
and I went on the London Bridge,
Hmm.
and I went shopping. Yeah.
Okay. And what are
Mhm.
some things, and what do you remember buying in England, in London?
Well, I bought a lot of dolls because I love dolls. I bought a lot of dolls and candies and sneakers. And I bought a lot of stuff for my friends that I had back in school because
Hmm.
everybody will tell me that they want something. So I'll try my best and buy like little tokens for them.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I see. I see. That is very good. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I did bring back a lot of tokens for my friends. So
Hmm.
I'll bring back like a pen or a pen or it's just something that they can say at least I did bring back something for them.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really important and that's really fascinating.
Mhm.
And back to the concept of acting. So besides I Never Saw It Coming, what other programs have you acted in?
Um, that's the only one I'm in currently. But one thing with Gavin, anyone that he's a part of, he'll add me to it automatically because as I said, our relationship is like brothers and sisters. So he like to drag me behind him anywhere that he goes.
Right, right, sure.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
Mhm.
And so what are some things that you would like to know about, my perspective in life, and what are some things you would like to learn about me, by the way?
Why did you go into podcasting?
Well, that's a great question. I went into podcasting a few years ago because I was concerned that there are not enough strong podcasters in the community who are blind and who are receptive and open to guests from all of the countries. And
Mhm.
I find that there are too many podcasts for blind people where they might be a very good podcast, but when it comes to actually participating in the podcast, um, perhaps my opinion is that some podcasts are not as open as they need to be, you know? So I have a lot of opinions and I pushed record, and that's how I created my opinion show. But that's basically how I got into it. And I love talking to people because I talk to people all day at work. I'm a teacher, so I love teaching. I love talking all day. So this has become
Oh,
this has become, something that I really love to embody. Hmm. Sure, sure.
okay, nice. Okay. So who's there on Richmond?
Well, I was born in 91, July 2nd to be precise, with glaucoma and a congenital heart defect. My academic, I was educated in a mainstream setting, as we say in the States, because children in the States nowadays are able to go to schools with sighted peers, sighted pupils.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that has become a practice since the 1990s, my generation. But
Mm-hmm.
there's still a lot of challenges even in the states, with people
Okay.
with disabilities in society. We still have discrimination and problems in society, even though it's in
That's
America.
natural. Mm-hmm.
Right, right. So the problems don't just go away because you leave Jamaica or because you leave the states. There's still problems, in any society. But um, I studied in university. I studied international relations, and that's where my degree is held in. But over time, I became more interested in teaching and the journalism thing with the podcasting, things like this. And I've just been able to connect all of the dots over the past 6 years, to where I am today. And I came in contact with Gavin. I met Gavin through a Canadian acquaintance who is a fellow
Oh,
content creator.
Victor.
You got it.
I did
You got
an interview with Victor. I did an interview with him.
Yeah. So I don't. So just to clarify the way this works on our side of the pond, I don't actually know Victor personally.
Yeah.
What it is that we guested on each other's shows. I know he's guested with me. I forget if I've guested with him. But I
Okay.
was watching one of his lives, and Victor said, and I'm going to do this show with some guy named Gavin, and he's a Jamaican, and he has these shows. And I thought, well, I need to figure out who that is, because I want to talk to him. I want to include him. And then from Gavin has come this whole, expanding my network and expanding my reach in the Jamaican audience, from you, Tashtika, um, King Rocco, of course. Well, actually, King Rocco is from Lucia, but yeah. So I've had a lot of guests from your region, here at Aaron's Opinion. In fact, do you listen to? I'm sure you do. Tell It Like It Is on UVC Radio.
I am a part of Tell It Like It. No, 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 I'm not a part of that. I was a part of Bedroom Talk It Out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when I heard those two things, I was mixing them up. Yeah, you're from Bedroom Talk It Out, and
Yeah.
me and Mr. Williams and King Rocco, we kind of host a show together, kind of a group meeting radio show experience. Tell it like it is.
I know about the program. I do.
UVC Radio. Yeah. So I've spoken to a lot of interesting people just through UVC Radio. So that's kind of where all of this is going, really. But have you thought about? Well, actually, do you what other questions do you have for me, by the way?
Well, I think that's it.
Well, I have some other questions to you. It looks like we have about 10 minutes. I like to keep these recordings to around an hour. It's hard, but I like to be as precise as I can. You know, some people have told me around the community that I kind of have an interesting voice. And I was wondering, you're probably anticipating this one. I was wondering if you could ever see Aaron Richmond doing some voiceover or some voice acting in I Never Saw It Coming. I know you aren't their spokesperson or CEO, but this is kind of how these things work, behind closed doors. What do you think you can do as far as, what's your opinion about that?
That would be very interesting for you to be a part of. I never saw it coming. Trust me, it will, because there is a part of it that they have journalism in there. So I think you will fit with the journalism team.
I'm a
That is
journalist.
already, yes, as a
I can play
journalist.
I can voice a journalist in a journalistic sense as a podcaster. Yeah, definitely. I tell you what,
Yeah.
if you want, you can definitely let Gavin know. Let those CEOs over there know that I would like to learn more about it, and they can reach out anytime.
I
I would
think
be
you should be
honored.
added to the group. I think you should be added to Zollywood cinemas,
Well, I'm
and
not
then you can
stopping you.
learn a lot from there.
I'm not stopping you. Add me then. I'm not stopping you. Add me. Add me to that group. I'm trying
Okay,
to
I
get
let
added
them
to
add
things.
you.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's really good. That's really good. Well, I really appreciate it. I would love to help out, and I would love to know that my voice isn't just for teaching or podcasting. I would love to know that my voice helped a company or helped someone else. So that would be so inspirational for me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it would, and you learn a lot from the group, because day by day we do acting notes in the group. Like we'll
Right.
take a part from the scenes and we'll act it out
Right.
in the group.
Right.
So you will learn a lot from there.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. And a lot of those people in Gavin's group are also hopefully going to be future guests here at Aaron's Opinion, because Gavin likes to assign guests for me to interview. So I'm hoping that I will be able to help the group and of course expand, the podcast all in one, all in one swoop, as we say. So that would be really good. And I love talking to people from other countries. So I understand the majority of the cast is from South Africa though, right?
There are a lot of them. I think there's only one American in there. Yeah, there's only one American. Two? Yeah. Well, I don't know about one, but they're like, I think it's about five Jamaicans.
Mm-hmm.
Kadim is not an American. Kadim is from Antigua, but he's
Antigua.
living in the States.
Well, that's fine. He's from a person's from Antigua and Barbuda. Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but he's living in the States now over 4 years now. But
Ah, that's cool.
there's one born American in there. Her name is Ada.
There's one what and what? I didn't quite catch that word you said. There's one
There's
what?
one there's one person from the state that is in the play. Her name is Ada.
Ah, I see.
So yeah.
I
And
see.
there are
Good.
four Jamaicans and one St. Lucian, and the
Mm-hmm.
rest of them are Africans. Yeah.
Oh, and the rest are South Africans, right? Sure. From
Yes.
mm, mhm. And then
Yeah.
what about the person from New Zealand? Because I know that Gavin knows someone from New Zealand, right? What about the Zealander? Is there a Zealander in this program?
I think there is, because no, he's not there anymore, but there's a person from India.
Ah,
The pastor that plays the role of my husband is from India.
oh, that's really good. That's really good.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
they're mixing it up. They're
R-
trying to get a lot of different cultures in there.
I see. I see. And
Yeah.
so what do you I guess one of the things that's not entirely clear to me, and it doesn't make any difference either way. It's very entertaining, but so this project, like, is it going to eventually be sold to some like TV state? Like, where? I guess what I'm saying is, I get that it's a audio drama, kind of like an audio podcast over YouTube, but um, where? I guess where is it going? Like, where can we take this project? Is what I would like to know.
Well, the head, which is Dollar Bill, he's trying to get sponsorship where he can pay the persons who are doing the acting.
Right.
And because of the pandemic, there's not much that they can do now, because they want us all to go on tour for persons to see the persons behind the voices. So they are working
Mm.
on that currently. But because
Mm-hmm.
of the pandemic, that is going to be a challenge for now. But that's what they're trying to do.
Well,
They're trying to get it out there for persons to understand it.
sure. Well, it's none of my business to say this, but if anyone, if no, but seriously, if anyone in the group wants my input, and I'll just say it now because I'm only saying it because this thought just kind of popped up. I just saw a dialogue box
Yeah.
popped up in my head with a thought. If I don't say it, I'll forget it. I think that this could also go very far if the audio is just taken out of the video and it's just turned into a podcast. Put it up there on iTunes and just create a
I
podcast out
think
of it.
so too.
Yeah,
That's a good idea. You could share that as an idea with Dollar Bill because he's somebody that you can talk to.
Well,
He's not you can talk to him. I can share
good.
his contacts with you,
Oh,
and you
that's
can
so
reach
good.
out to him.
Well, it's Gavin, right? So I already know Gavin, right? It's Gavin. Gavin is
Yeah,
Dollar Bill, right?
No, Gavin is not Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill is from South Africa.
Oh, cool. Dollar Bills from South Africa. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Well, definitely definitely put me in touch with anyone that you feel, everybody and everyone that you feel is appropriate. It's really important as a content creator to build rapport like this and to get these connections because, Tisha, we really need, and I know that you know this by being a blind person, but we really need a lot of support in the blindness community from all these countries. And I was just talking to a content creator that's going to come onto the podcast in just a couple of days, hopefully, God willing. And I was telling her, I said, if there's ever a time where us blind people need to work together around the world to create stuff together and share our ideas, right now would be a great time to start working together. So yeah. Hey, speaking of songs,
I agree. I agree with you. I do.
So speaking of music that you like to sing, do you want to sing any songs for us? I love hearing.
No, I'm not a good singer. I am not a good singer.
Well, you could.
I'm sorry,
well, that is fine, but maybe Jennifer is a good singer.
No, Jennifer is not.
You're just saying that because the actress lady who plays her can't sing or something, right?
I'll pass.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Some Jamaicans love to sing. I just thought of it when you mentioned the music. But yeah, Jamaica has wonderful music that everyone around the world knows.
I like singing, but I don't like singing in crowd.
when
I'm at home, I'll party and I will sing and I will just misbehave, but not in crowd.
But you just said that a few minutes ago. See, I think we have to kind of edit the story because a few minutes ago you said you're a good girl, and then you just admitted 1 second ago that you kind of misbehave at home. So what is it? What's the truth now? Let's get to the bottom of this.
When I'm at home in my private space,
yeah.
I do what I want, but in the public, I am a good girl.
Okay. So you can.
I know when to behave.
Well,
I know when to behave.
Well, that's good. So you're a good pastor's wife in public and a mischievous pastor's wife at home, right? Okay. I think you're very entertained. You're very entertained by this. You have a beautiful personality. I think you should get into. So have you personally thought of getting into podcasting yourself?
Well, I love journalism. I must say that. I love it. Mm-hmm. And I have applied to the Miami-Dade College, which I got accepted. But because of the pandemic, thank you. But because of the pandemic, it's given me a fight to get to the States. But I love journalism. I have a lot of friends who are sighted, who are journalists here in Jamaica, and they are my really close friends. So at times I will just link up with them and we just talk about stuff that happened in the world of journalism, and they were like, "Oh, girl, you got the voice for radio," because I love talking. Trust me, I love to chat.
Okay, well, I know you don't love to sing, but can you give me a little sample of how you would introduce yourself on a radio? Can you imagine that you're on the radio just talking? How would you introduce yourself?
I'll be like, "Hey, world, welcome."
Okay, so let's make a note in the comments of the video. Maybe so the comment just says here, please practice that one. Okay, let's practice. So, okay, So anyway, I'm sure that you'll do great, wonderful things in journalism,
Mhm.
and things like that. So yeah, yeah. How many different news stations are there in Jamaica? Probably quite a few, right?
There's a lot, but I only list the specific ones. I have specific ones that I love because there are a lot of, as I said, I have a lot of friends who are journalists and
Hmm.
they work on these stations that I listen to, especially RJR. They're very informative. So yeah, I listen to them a lot.
And what is RJR?
It's real Jamaican radio.
Oh, so kind of like a Radio Jamaica, kind of like that.
Yeah, it
Right.
is.
Right. Well, guess what? That was an entire hour recording. Do you have any parting words, any final words, or any final big statements? Or the other question I asked to end the interview is, if you can ask me only one question to make me sweat, and to really see if I'm worth my salt as a podcaster, what do you really want to know?
What I really want to know. Well, no, I don't have any.
That's
I
fine.
don't have
That's
any.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, guys, I'm going to say that in this case, I would generally say, how can someone get in contact with you? But I mean, how can someone get in touch with you if they want to learn more about you and your projects and what you're working on?
Well, I am on WhatsApp at 876-403-2215. I am on Facebook as Tisha Blair, which is TISHA BLAIR, and I'm on Instagram with the same name. And my email address is PETAGAYEMILNE@gmail.com.
So good. So good.
Yeah,
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. Guys, you can also click the link in the description to see. I never saw it coming. I'll put the channel in there. And thank you so much. I
you're
wish you
welcome.
wish you the very best of luck. Keep up your great work. Of course, we'll talk on WhatsApp. Let's end the episode right here. Thanks so much, everybody. Great episode.
You're welcome.